My wife and I did reciprocal IVF. We used her eggs and I carried the baby. So they are her biological children. However, under the eyes of the Irish law, I am considered the biological mom because I physically gave birth. And so despite the fact that she is the actual biological mother, and despite the fact that we are legally married under the Irish Constitution, my wife Audrey has absolutely zero rights to our children and is considered a legal stranger to them.
In 2015, Ireland made history when it became the first nation in the world to approve same-sex marriage by popular vote. The turnout for the vote was over 60% of the Irish population. 62% voted yes and 38% voted no. This was a historic day for gay rights in Ireland as homosexuality was only decriminalised in 1993. As a country, we celebrated loudly and proudly. But what many people do not know is that for a small minority within the Irish LGBTQ+ community, the fight still continues today. We spoke to one Irish family who do not have equal parental rights and will not be covered under new legislation.
Hi. Hi, Doodle. So I'm Renee, and this is my wife Audrey, and our daughters Aria and Ava. And Ava is, how old are you, Ava? Are you, say, two? Ava is 2. And Aria is almost 3 months old.
3 months, yeah. She'll be 3 months on Mother's Day.
Yeah. And we got married on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Where's she going?
Uh-oh. Here's a nut job. Yeah. So we've been together for almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years this year. We met in college. And I can't ever remember there being a time when we didn't want kids. Yes, we always wanted little monkeys. And we both come from really big families, and yeah, so it was just always a given that we'd eventually have kids. And I think we always kind of assumed that I would carry them.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of made sense. I've always wanted to be pregnant and kind of have that kind of experience. But then when we were, you know, we'd be talking about it, and we'd always said, wouldn't it be cool if we could use Audrey's eggs to do IVF? And then we figured out that was actually a thing that you could do, and there was a name for it, and it was called reciprocal IVF, or shared motherhood. And we were really excited about that, and we went to a clinic in Ireland to see if we could start the process, and we were told it wouldn't be possible to do it in Ireland. There was no legislation for it, and if we wanted to do it that way, we'd have to go abroad. And we went home that day and we were really disappointed, I think. But also we were like, no, this is definitely the way we want to do it, and we should be able to do it this way, so if we have to go abroad, we will. So we did, and we went to Spain in 2015, and it took 2 tries, and then I got pregnant with Ava. So I was pregnant, and we then got married while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So we got married in 2016.
Yeah.
And
waited for the vote to come in.
And we got married, and I think we were really oblivious at that time. We just kind of thought everything was great.
Because we were married, you know, we assumed that we had the same rights as every other married couple, that we're going to have kids. Mm-hmm. So that's what we were thinking. We were totally oblivious to any, we just didn't think it would be any other way. Mm.
Okay, so it's an issue for 2 women if the donor is known. Yeah. And is it an issue for 2 men in every circumstance?
Pretty much. I mean, the way same-sex male couples are accessing the parental pathways that they use primarily is surrogacy, or in terms of adoption, but adoption isn't really open in Ireland at the moment.
Okay.
People are accessing services abroad because there's more advanced technology abroad, if you like. There's more options for people who have fertility issues, because same-sex couples have fertility issues too, as well as needing donor assistance. So I suppose that's our main concerns, is that we think the Children and Family Relationships Act, while it is fantastic for the families that it covers, there are many families left behind, and we think that this, as the second pillar in regulating assisted human reproduction, has to look at those issues and has to try and address those, because the children exist and they need their parents recognised.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if it can be done in other countries, and if there is, if you like, a political commitment to cover all these different eventualities and situations, then I don't really understand why it isn't being done. I mean, one would fear that maybe it's just not a priority for the government. I mean, it's worth reminding ourselves that it was pressure from society that forced a referendum in the first place. You know, a long march of a movement when, frankly, the major political parties in this country were very hostile to LGBT relationships, or any kind of relationship that was outside, you know, the Catholic norm. And maybe there's a sort of lingering residue of that kind of prejudice and failure to take these issues seriously. But we need to keep fighting on, and people outside, I think, the Parliament as well, who are concerned about these issues, need to keep the pressure on the government. There's nothing like people power pressure to force governments to do things that they don't want to do.
We, by popular vote, gave equal marriage rights to gay and straight people, which is amazing. But I think that the one thing we're not doing in protecting the family right now is that whole area of surrogacy. It's not recognised under the current legislation, and by default there are families currently raising kids, doing the school run 5 days a week like everyone else, who have children, but those kids are actually left in a place of insecurity, actually, should anything happen to their to their parents, who in law may not be their legal guardians.
Our next guests are an Irish family living in Canada. They are Dad Jay, originally from Baldoyle, Dad Aaron, originally from Tundalkin, and their baby Jake, born in Canada. Now, until recently, Jake wasn't recognised as an Irish citizen. To tell us their truly amazing modern story, will you please welcome the O'Briens.
Male same-sex couples are not mentioned in the 2015 Children and Family Relationships Act. International surrogacy will not be legislated for under new law. The O'Briens, who are currently living in Canada, spoke to us via Skype call.
Right now, there's no provisions for same-sex male couples to be recognised as parents using surrogacy outside of Ireland as a means of creating a family, and along with that would also fall heterosexual couples who use surrogacy as a means as creating a family outside of Ireland. So I don't understand why that's the case.
People that get affected now are the children. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me and Jay at the end of the day. Obviously we do want our family, but we want Jake to have the same rights, the same safety net as every other kid has in Ireland. So for the government to turn around and go, no, you can't have that for some reason that doesn't make any sense, is just deplorable. It's discriminatory. Like, the kids are already here, so just take care of them. Jake is an Irish citizen. We're both Irish citizens. Like, why can't our child have the same thing as everybody else in our country?
Do you want to say that?
In my mind, it's pretty simple. In my mind, it's me personally, I want to be seen as a parent to Ava and Aria, and that's it. That's what we want changed, you know, because the family unit is changing with the times, you know. I mean, it already has. You know, there's different family units out there. It's not just man and woman anymore, and 2.4 children. So I guess what I would like to see change is for us to be seen as parents, just two people who have kids and love their kids no matter what. Just to be seen legally here as a parent. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's not anything unusual that we're asking for. We're just asking to be treated the same as any other family and any other married couple. Not that it should matter if you're married or not, but that just kind of adds an extra layer to it, I suppose. But as any other heterosexual family in the country, we just want the same protection that is given to those families. We just want the same protection for our children, and for them not to be viewed any differently, than their peers in school or, their friends. They shouldn't be looked at differently, What are you doing?